week. Okay, I know about all the conversations that went on at the Lane and all that stuff. So everybody has kind of decided they needed to tell the truth because they know it's not right for Trey to be down there at the creek, found dead, like he was. So your dad stepped up, did the right thing. Your grandmother stepped up, did the right thing. Cassie stood up, did the right thing, including telling me that they could call me about your old drive after that. Okay? So let's just kind of go through the story on how it happened or why it happened or
what time did you say that interview was?
Started approximately 9:34, and I read him his Miranda rights at 9:47.
Is that AM or PM?
I'm sorry, AM.
Did you conduct any interviews the following day?
Let me see what the date was on that again, I'm sorry. 23rd, yeah, on June 24th, I spoke to Angelique again, and also on June 24th, I spoke to Jahar Riddle, or Jahar Friend.
Did you ever contemplate further investigating the dumpsters?
Yes, that's as far as when I had to take a driver that night of the 23rd, do the drive with Cassie to show us exactly where that happened, yes.
And why didn't you search the manhole or the dumpsters?
Well, we've had experience with that recently when this case had happened, and that was just a few days after we would be looking for a body, and we looked under several hundred tons of trash with no luck, and the commanding officer of the commander of the homicide unit, which was Lieutenant Wilkerson, and I spoke about it, and the decision was made that, especially after almost 30 days, give or take, that we'd be looking under several hundred tons of trash for a baseball bat and a bag with clothes, and the decision was made not to do that.
Did you continue to conduct interviews after this?
Yes, I spoke to, I don't know if you can go name by name or people who I spoke to. I mean, I spoke to additional witnesses, probably another 10 or 15 people at that point.
At some point, did you get cell phone records related to this case?
We got cell phone records from some of the Bridgewood folks, Trey's, Amanda's, and of course we'd sent off, which was, I thought I'd sent off Mr. Gowker's a lot sooner than I had. And of course I'm also working other murder cases of my own, assisting other detectives in other murder cases. And then of course I realized that I hadn't sent off a request for Mr. Gowker's. So when I did send the request off, the phone company had replied and said those records had been destroyed.
Oh, and why did you ever look into getting records for the phones of the people involved?
I don't believe I have the ping records just for a simple fact that if they were involved, the murder happened a couple hundred feet from their house, so I would expect any calls that were made or any activity on the phone would have pinged off the closest tower to their house and the murder scene, so I did not do that, no.
In the summer of 2012, did you receive any information on the case?
I'd spoken to 3 inmates who'd given us information that Mr. I guess how far you want me to go into their generally I'd received information from 3 inmates who had stated to the effect of that Mr. Gowker had planned this murder and had his son do the murder.
And did you, in July 2012, did you talk to Cassie again? July 17th?
Yes, I did. I spoke to her on July 17th.
Did she tell you anything about what Gowker told her?
This was an interview, I guess, that I think I was back at her house, and these were, I don't know if that's the time. I think I was trying to serve a subpoena. I don't remember. I've spoken to her so many times. But I'd ask if there was any additional information that she had that she felt like she wanted to pass along. And this was the conversation where she had spoken. She said Gowker had told her things previously, though, like a month or 2 prior to the murder, Things like he said something about, in general, an eye for an eye, you kill my kid, I'll kill yours, that he was going to plan it and have the defendant commit the murder. She had overheard some things. She felt that Mr. Young had been bragging and boasting about the murder, was acting really with no remorse, and then I even tried to kind of trip her up a little bit. And, of course, I lied to her, and I told her that we had information that she took things to the dumpster herself just to try to get a reaction from her to see what she would say. And she was adamant that Mr. Young was with her and that Mr. Young is the one that put the items in the dumpster. And that she had mentioned Mr. Gowker had mentioned wanting to try to get a gun in Louisville before he left to go to Alabama, or south, I guess.
In August, I believe, of 2012, was a new indictment brought in this case.
Yes, I don't remember the exact date. I thought it was somewhere late July or early August. I don't remember the exact date, but yes.
And who was indicted?
Mr. Gowker was indicted.
What changed your mind? Why did you indict Gowker, or ask me to indict Gowker a year later after?
Well, because we had received new information from three inmates, and then some of the things that Cassie had told us.
Did this come as a surprise to you that Gowker could possibly be involved?
No, I think pretty much all along, especially with just the type of murder it was. It was personal. It was up close. I felt from the beginning it was probably somebody that knew him or had close relationships with him, but we didn't have the probable cause at that point to make the arrest anywhere until the indictment was made to make the arrest.
Did you just indict somebody because you know he was probably involved?
No.
Just 1 second.
Nope, no problem.
When you were collecting items in the beginning, the sword, the knife, why didn't you fingerprint those? Or why didn't you send off those fingerprints?
Well, early on, we were thinking sword and knife and things, and of course you have heard testimony on what could have happened or could have occurred. At some point, I think with the information we received about the baseball bats and things, they were swabbed for DNA. And honestly, I can't remember without looking at one of the reports if they were ever even fingerprinted. I just don't remember. I know they were swabbed for DNA.
Did further investigation lead you to believe that those had anything to do with the murder?
Well, after speaking to Mr. Gowker, Angelique, Johara, Cassie, we felt that the baseball bat was involved.
What was the delay on sending things to the lab?
Well, I mean, I don't know the exact delay. I don't remember the exact month we sent those off. The stuff is in the police property room. It's sitting there. I'm working multiple other cases. It's sitting on other cases. And at some point, I'll have time or get together and figure out what is going to be sent off. We have a limitation, which is disappointing, actually, but we are allowed to send 10 items to the Kentucky State Police Crime Lab on a murder case, excluding swab, like just the buccal swabs. Those are excluded. So if I collected 30 pieces of evidence or 200 pieces of evidence, I have to, and I get with other detectives and ask their opinion, or the crime scene folks, their opinion, which 10 are the most important. And we will send those first 10 off. Now, if those don't come back with the results of any benefit, the crime lab will allow us, with permission, to send up to 10 additional items, which I think was done in this case close to 10 on the second sending.
So is that why we saw 2 different batches with the lab people?
Yes.
I think that is all I have.
All right, may I have the attorneys up here, please? We will resume tomorrow at 9 a.m. We found some more notebook paper. If you all need more paper to take notes on, it'll be on the table over there. Remember your admonition. Be ready to come back in at 9 o'clock in the morning. All rise for the departing jury. Jury's out. I'm going to permit the defense to put some avowal testimony on. Out of order. Oh, you're not? Thank you.
Is it okay if I just leave it?
She's going to be called up here. What we will need you to do is move all of the materials someplace else so the witness will have a clear spot.
Sir.
Thank you.
Second, get that box out of the way.
And I'm going to mark this as avowal testimony. Defendant. They have a full name. Lexi.
Lexi, L-E-X-I, Stoneburner, S-T-O-N-E-B-U-R-N.
All right, Lexi Stoneburner.
Lexi Stoneburner. Lexi Stoneburner.
Need to stay?
If you want to.
But it's
Stoneburner, if you'll come up to the witness stand, please. I'm going to place you under oath before you have a seat. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be true? Thank you. Have a seat. Be comfortable. I encourage you to sit up close to the microphone. It's adjustable for your height. Keep your voice up good and loud. Thank you.
Lexi, state your full name for the record, please.
Alexis Marie Stoneburner,
What part of town do you live in?
Fern Creek, J-Town area.
And in 2010, specifically summer and fall, were you living in the same place that you are now?
Yes.
Who were you living there with?
I was living with my mom, my dad, my grandma, my brother Trey, my sister Carly, and Josh.
So in this case, we have two Joshes and two Treys.
One Josh, two Treys, one.
Two Treys and two Joshes.
Oh, yes, okay. I thought you meant living in my house.
Yeah, okay. Do you know Joshua Young?
Yes.
Can you state how you first met him?
Yes, we at Home of the Innocents.
Why were you at the Home of the Innocents?
Because my parents were in the foster to adopt. We were all in the foster to adopt program, and the social worker said that we were a good match for them, so we met them at Home of the Innocents as our first
Who
meeting.
did you meet?
Joshua Young and Carly
Who's Carly?
Young. It is his biological sister.
What's Carly's situation now?
We have adopted her.
So were the plans that you were going to adopt both Joshua and Carly?
Yes.
And did I ask you how old you were?
No. 15.
Where were you going to school in the fall of 2010?
Ramsey Middle School.
When did you first meet Joshua, if you could put a time on it, when you first met him at the Home of the Innocents?
In September. of 2010.
And how long have you known him?
I've known 3 years now.
How long was he living in your house?
7 months.
Was he always living in your house full time, or did that change?
Through those 7 months, yes, and then he started going weekends to Gowker, and then it started becoming more permanent.
Do you know Joshua Gowker?
Yes.
Did you know Joshua Gowker in the fall and winter of 2010?
Yes.
How did you know him?
Well, the first visit was, I think, Christmas Eve of 2010 when Josh visited Gowker.
Okay. Did Gowker visit you in your home?